flag event. Many are speculating whether the Paris attack was in fact a false flag event. That is very hard to speculate at this point. It's interesting the way the analysts are viewing the chessboard that is in place in Europe. Now, it doesn't appear like it was a false flag event in Paris. However, they were doing a drill all over Paris that day, simulating mass shootings and responses to mass shootings. So it's very, very suspicious. There's a whole lot of things that are being reported coming out of Paris. Obviously, the Muslims are on the march. And did the Illuminati win? Did they progress their agenda? I would go there again. Is Lindsey Williams' elite friend right, saying that we are going to see the economic collapse or the currency collapse or really the raising of the interest rates? Remember, as we've been teaching on this program, that Lindsey Williams' elite friend said that the signal from the elite to the other elite is that they will raise interest rates. That's when the end will come. And that's when you really need to prepare for, and you really need to watch out for. And is he correct according to the Paris events and the aftermath thereof? I would say yes. I would have to say you're going to see more of those big events coming, and they have definitely pumped up the rhetoric going into December, going into the end of the year now, where you're going to see these massive financial issues show up.
Me over a year and a half ago that there was a sign, the final sign before the collapse of every currency in the world would be a rise in interest rates when Mr. Bernanke would announce that the interest rates would rise. And he has told me in the past, he said, Chaplain, whenever that happens, any paper that you have not gotten out of, you've lost it. It's gone. You don't have time to get it. This is exactly what the elite wanted to find out. In this test, this guinea pig that they made out of you on that day, and the banks, when nobody knew what they were doing, they watched that 3.3% between banks, and it went to, oh my goodness, it went to 8.26% by the middle of the next day. By the next night, it had gone to 12.33% in China, and China had the largest bank in the country. This is so important, China, because I'm going to bring it out later in my presentation. The ICBC Bank in China had a benchmark 7-day repo rate funding between banks that went up in China of 12.33%, and across America the rate went up, and it literally stopped the interbank funding for about 48 hours. And if the elite had allowed this to continue, every currency in the world and every bank in the world would have collapsed by Monday morning. My phone started ringing. They said, Chaplain, what is going on? The banks are going to collapse. There'll be closures on Monday morning. Those who knew, those who had listened to what my elite friend had told me, those who knew that the interest rate is so vitally important, and that Bernanke had made this statement, and my phone was ringing, and they said, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Well, I'd already talked with my elite friend, and on the phone they said, Chaplain, everything will be all right by Monday morning. He said, this is only a test. We wanted to see what would happen, and they did. They found out that all they've got to do is have the Federal Reserve Chairman to say a certain thing, and that rate begins to climb. And when it begins to climb to the place that they want it, and to keep it there, within 24 hours' time, they can collapse every currency and close every bank in the world by a Monday morning, and they can do it in a 24-hour period. They've already run the test, and they know exactly what they can do, and they know how they can do it. Why?